What I did first was I tied a string to a pencil that equaled the radius of my shield, and I just put that in the center of a piece of a board and drew a circle with it. So it's pretty simple, and after that I went on to cutting it out with my jigsaw. So there's the rough circle, and after I got that rough circle out, I just went on and sanded the edges to try and make it all even. So what I'm doing right here is drawing the planks for the shield. I think there were 5 planks in total, and as you can see, I just did it randomly with a pencil. It doesn't matter what these planks look like, as long as you have planks. It gives it a little more detail, and that's how they would have made it. After I drew the planks, all I did was cut them out with a jigsaw. It took a little while, so you're going to have to be patient if you're following the build. And here's just a quick look of what it looked like after I cut all the planks out. To make it have a more natural look, I sanded the edges of these planks to make it look like they weren't so perfect when they fit together. It's a little hard to see right now, but sanding the edges of those planks give it a lot more detail. So what I'm doing right here is drawing marks on these planks for a wood grain texture, and it's going to give it a whole lot more detail. And when you put a stain on it, it's going to bring out these marks. It's going to have a whole lot more detail than you would if you didn't do this. Here's just a real quick look at the wood grain pattern I drew. It's just completely random, it's up to you. After I had my pattern drawn, I just did some really light, shallow cuts with my Dremel over the lines. This is what it looked like after I had all the lines cut. Next is the staining, which is going to bring up those lines. Now it's time for staining. I used an ebony stain. It's a darker stain, so it's really just personal preference. You want to stain every plank individually and make sure you get them covered really, really well. And this is what it looked like after I stained every plank and let the stain dry. For the crossbars that go on the back, I just grabbed 2 boards and put an angle on the edges. Next, I stained the crossbars in a lighter shade than I did the shield. It just makes it look a little better. After the staining's done, I glued the crossbars to the shield, and I screwed every individual plank. There you can see the screws. You want to be really careful with this and make sure you don't screw through the shield. After I screwed in the crossbars, I just grabbed a really thin piece of wood and glued that over the screws to hide them. I also stained it the same color as the shield. To give the back of the shield a little more layered look, I grabbed another piece of that board and stained it the same as the crossbars to make it have a little more detail. For the handle, I just grabbed a piece of wood and took it to the belt sander and just kind of carved out the handle shape. After I had the handle done, all I did was screw it onto the back of the shield. On the other side of the shield, I just grabbed a few pieces of wood and cut a curve in them so it would be a little more comfortable for my arm when I held the shield. For the strap that held my arm in place, I just grabbed an old belt and screwed it into those curved pieces of wood. And there you go, it's done. I would show the painting, but the emblem is going to be up to you guys. Alright guys, so here's how the Falk Wreath Guard shield sits as of right now. It's obviously not finished because it doesn't have the metal ring around it. So I'm going to be putting up a tutorial on how to make that out of either epoxy sculpt or Bondo in the future. I haven't had a whole lot of time to put out tutorials recently because of various things. So look forward to that in the future. Alright guys, so recently I've been interested in bladesmithing. That is making your own knives and stuff like that. So today I went out and got some stuff for the forge. I'm going to be showing you how to build your own forge and then how to build a knife from start to finish. Thanks for watching guys, and if you want to see more builds like this, all you have to do is hit the subscribe button. So I'll see you guys later.